Hello and welcome to CEO.CA's Inside the Boardroom. Today we're with Allen Sabet, CEO and Director of Mogotes Metals, traded on the Venture Exchange under ticker symbol MOG. Allen, thank you for being here today.
Pleasure, Rachel. Thank you for having me.
So let's get things kicked off with a 30-second overview of Mogotes.
Mogotes is an exploration company. We're looking for large copper deposits, particularly in an area called the Vuna district of Argentina. So this is a very important copper district. It's where in the last 3 years, several discoveries have been made, particularly Filo del Sol, which is owned by a company called Filo, and Luna, which is owned by a company called NGX. And we are the third part of this district, you can say, a large land package, several new targets that are completely untested. And we're very excited, particularly today, because just yesterday, there was an announcement that BHP, one of the biggest mining companies in the world, has just made an offer to buy our Neighbour for over 4 billion Canadian dollars. So we're all very excited. It means for us, it really validates the value of this district and the work that we're doing.
Yeah, and that's the news we want to talk about right away. Why is it such big news? I know obviously Filo Sur is bordering Filo del Sol project, but give us a little bit more detail about why this means so much for you. Major
mining companies, particularly in this case BHP, are always looking for copper supply in a large scale, and a deposit that meets their criteria is not easy to come by. In fact, exceedingly rare in today's market. So when a major company like BHP buys, Filo for over $4 billion, it means this is and has the potential to be a real mining camp, a multi-generational mining deposit that could be there for 100+ years. So it's basically a stamp of approval that this is a mining district that's worthy of any of the top mining companies in the world, and indeed that's what's happened here. They've bought it. And what it also means for us is that the potential for our company to find something and for that something to be part of a bigger mining operation is far more probable, because we'll be in a district where mining is already occurring, where infrastructure is in place, and a lot of the risks have kind of been played out by the big strategic players.
And can you tell us a little bit more about Filo Sur? So the project's geology and also what you've done to date as well.
Sure. So Filo Sur is a pretty large project. It's some 85 square kilometers directly south of Filo del Sol, adjoining the southern border of Filo del Sol, actually. And so quite a large land package. It's early stage exploration, I would say. It's a project that we've been exploring for about 2 years. 2 field seasons of work has happened here. We've applied what we think are modern and systematic exploration techniques. And using those techniques, we've kind of, I would say, blown this whole project wide open, in the sense that there's 9 prospect areas now that we're exploring that we believe each of them have their own merits and their own potential, but could eventuate to be something significant for us, or potentially a discovery. So, and these 9 were previously unidentified, majority of them completely untested or undrilled, and some of them not even sampled. And so we've explored, we've done systematic sampling, geophysics, and really done a number of things that have shown, hey, there's a lot of potential here. So we're excited. We're going to get back down there in October and continue exploring and drilling, and hopefully getting there to discovery. So large project. It's in the Vuna district, so we're getting extensive alteration, extensive copper in soils all over the project, and really has all the ingredients that we would hope for in an exploration project, with the added benefit that our Neighbour is just being taken out for several $1 billion. So it's really an exciting place to be exploring, and an exciting time to be exploring as well.
And for audience members who are not familiar with the Vuna district, like myself, can you give us a quick overview of history, as well as why there's so much promise in this area in general?
Zooming out a little bit on more of a continental scale, the copper porphyry deposits, which is the type of copper deposit that we're looking for here, have generally occurred along kind of the continental structure, okay? So a north-south, imagine a north-south mountain line, mountain ridge line that goes over 1,000 kilometers. And many of the big mines have been along this kind of line. Now, going back 20, 30 years, there's a large gap there. And so the Lundin Group and their fantastic exploration team basically started saying, there's no real geological basis for there not to be a large deposit or mine here. And they started exploring there. So their efforts, consistent and very, I would say, persistent efforts over the last 20 years have kind of led to this discovery. So the big discovery was Filo del Sol, particularly their hole 41, which happened in 2021. And, just 2 years later, and very close to us as well, is the Lunahuasi discovery. And that's with a company called NGX Minerals. So both of these companies started out as minnows, very small companies, I would say worth 50 to 100 million Canadian dollars. And today, we're seeing in the last 3.5 years, Filo went from that size to a $4.5 billion company. NGX Minerals, similarly, prior to the discovery was relatively small, and now it's over 1.5 billion Canadian dollars. And the reason why they're worth so much is because they're finding very large intervals of high grade kind of copper. And that's very valuable because it's rare.
Got it. And over at CEO.CA, we'll be watching MOG. Before you go, can you just give us a few points on what's next for the company in the next few weeks or months?
Yeah, I think you can expect to see a number of interesting releases from us. We already came out to the market with a release that outlined that we found a new trend of mineralization that's about 4 kilometers north-south and wide, hundreds of meters wide. So I think that in the coming days, stay tuned for a release where we're going to expound on that. We're going to have lab results from the trenches that we did there. And then we're going to go from there into some more details on some of our other prospect areas. And very soon after that, we'll be able to deploy for the field season and get going, and you'll be hearing from us on what we're finding on the ground there. So quite a number of things are happening in the coming weeks, and we'll try and space it out a little bit to give people a chance to digest. We have quite a bit of technical information in our releases, and we know that those of you who are exploration aficionados, you appreciate that level of detail. So stay tuned.
All right. And that was Allen Sabet of Mogotes Metals. For CEO.CA followers, you can find MOG on the website. And make sure you subscribe on YouTube as it helps out the channel. Thanks for watching.